I think just like if anyone listening thinks, yeah, maybe this applies to me, where I'm keep doing things and I'm not getting where I want to get to, or I'm putting it off, is actually to, rather than just push it to the side thinking I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's easier, which it is easier, even though it doesn't help us, is to actually do something different and just take yourself out, maybe a different environment, go for a walk, take a day out, take an hour off, whatever, half an hour, whatever you can do. And just get a little bit more intentional and review what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, what can I do differently.
I think the accountability we have really helps though, because sometimes you get so bogged down and then so one of it's would pull each other up and say, actually, you're doing too much, or have you thought about this? Yeah, so I think having people in your lives that actually you can have those conversations with and keep an eye on what you're up to is really important.
I have to be on. I have to be on, even if I wasn't checking phone with clients. If I looked on social media, it'd be triggering that I am not doing enough. If success will slip out of my hands if I'm not on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so really, that's almost addicted to that fear, that living in survival state. And a lot of us build our business from that. But what is I'm moving towards now, and this is what I've started to work on, is feeling safe with the space, feeling easy. Yeah.
And I see people now going, I don't use ChatGPT for my posts, and that is great because I love writing naturally, conversationally, perfect. However, I still think tools are amazing. So for example, I will write a blog and I have now trained part of my AI, ChatGPT, that basically whenever I've written it, I put it in and it will now give me my meta title, my keyword, my meta description, like all of those things, so that it's all there done.
Welcome to Real Talk, where we talk about real life, real business and real conversations. And today I have my lovely co-host with me. We have Lorraine Lewis, hey. We have Hayley Appleby-Burtt and Siobhan Mears. So welcome, ladies. And what a lovely day to me. It's absolutely peanut down outside, but here
nice
we are.
Cozy in here, isn't it?
Hot in
nice
here.
And cozy. Yeah, it's really warm in here. So today we are talking about kind of busy fools. You know, like when you do the same thing over and over and you get the same result, which is so easy to do. And, you know, when we're not living really consciously or really mindfully, I think it's just easy to keep doing the same stuff. And you get to the end of the week and you're like, you know, I don't feel any different. The needle's not moving. So I'm really interested in your experiences of when that's happened and how you've caught yourself. Because I think that's the thing. It's catching... You know, building that self-awareness to catch yourself and think, actually, this either isn't feeling good or I'm not seeing the results I want to see. What is it I need to change?
Yeah, and that's something that I always check in with my clients and in the community, checking in the beginning of the week, at the end of the week. And I try and do that with myself, but sometimes we're on autopilot. So if you're in a really busy period and you're just getting through, or if you're not feeling good, whether it's physically or mentally at that time, you're just coasting through. But I think then we can often get to a certain time of the year. I mean, always we say this, it's like, oh wow, it's going to be November soon, what? The year's flying by. And I think it's particularly if you're in business, I think for anyone, but let's say in business you have to be intentional because you've got financial goals, you've got growth goals or whatever that looks like. And I think for me it's so important to check in on myself because I've just coasted before where you're still doing the do, you're having micro achievements, which is okay. You don't always have to be in growth phase all the time, but at the same time you can be busy just ticking things off the list, and I find that's usually true when you're avoiding doing the uncomfortable thing.
It doesn't even have to be big, does it?
It could be uncomfortable. It could be
thing.
even showing up on stories, which might say, oh, but it only take a couple of minutes. But if you are feeling uncomfortable with being seen or whatever it is that you're avoiding, and then you'll go on the list and you do all the things around the houses. So I've done that before, and you're justifying that you're ticking things off, but it's like, is that pushing the needle towards whatever your bigger vision is? That's what you have to ask yourself. And I think that's why, like, we love to get together and have mastermind days, and we want to do more of that again.
Yeah, totally.
Because otherwise, if you don't take a step out of your business 100%. And work on your business strategy, you're just down. You're on a roller coaster, and then before you know it, another year's gone by. You're no closer to whatever your vision is.
Yeah, totally.
And whether it's business or career, like you're just in it, aren't you? And you're just thinking, you're just doing the same thing, trying to get through the week, day, and actually not moving towards whatever that bigger vision is. Even if you might not even know what the vision is because you've not had the time to think about it.
You probably haven't. Not intentional living, really.
I was on a masterclass, and the lady was talking about, like, just like owning you and how you show up. But she was talking about how we like forming this cycle and how we can, you know, if you ever get into those moments where you're feeling a bit like tired, and then, you know, if you're feeling a bit tired, you then probably start evaluating, and, you know, maybe that imposter syndrome kicks in, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go through this whole cycle,
Yeah.
and then you kind of can't be bothered, or you're looking over the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then you have to almost like kickstart yourself back again to get back to normal.
Yeah.
And it was basically the idea of what do you need to be doing for yourself that can like regulate you, like your emotions.
So
Whether that's like going to the gym or doing some
which is
exercise
mine,
or
somatics,
you know,
or whatever,
somatics or whatever it is. And for me, like this subject, that's the thing. So the other day, summer was like a bit of a random time. Everyone's off, right? And the same old stuff, as I say, I think, oh God, you know, like there's nothing going on. And then all of a sudden now it's like I've literally like, I'm fully booked now for the rest of the year, which is amazing. But the fact
Waitlist is open for January.
Yeah, waitlist is open for January. Thanks, Pippa. But the thing is, I just say yes, and I say like I in my head I think I'm staggering out these projects.
You've got better now,
I have
though.
got better.
I think there's been a big change.
But it's almost like one deadline stops and then I'm into the next one, right? And that's fine, but it's then, you know, like jumping in of an evening, it's cognitively, it's there, constant. So then not only are you busy doing a thing, cognitively, you're just like, you're tiring yourself out. And like I was chatting to my husband the other day, I was like, you know, sometimes what any of us do in any work, you just need space.
You need to switch off.
Space to think, space to switch off, space to like think about that project. So you don't just want to go like jump in and like be on it. And I think for me, my biggest thing, I sat there last week going, how have I just finished 2 of my massive projects, yet now I'm talking about other deadlines that I'm trying to hit.
Yeah. You haven't had time.
And I'm like, you know, and at the weekend I was like, I could jump on, like, but I don't want to. Like,
no, you have to set a boundary for yourself.
I have to stop. I won't message people back in the evening, because sometimes I do, but no, it's fine. You know, they've just messaged me today. I'm so quick to be like, someone's messaged me, I haven't got back to them today. Well, that's fine. Get back to them tomorrow. Or
people
this
will
or
respect that.
Yeah.
It's that people pleasing. I think you've come on
You have
from that. Really, like, but even from the beginning of the year, huge difference.
I have.
And like now you're able to stagger and say, I'm booked out to the rest of you. Anyone else coming in January, which is before you'd be trying to get them all in now and don't want to make.
But it's like that busyness has become almost what I mean.
Addictive.
It's become addictive. It's like I almost like, you know, I say I used to be like lastminute.com at school. I'd leave my 6 weeks holiday work till week 6 rather than week 1. That's me.
That's an addiction to that
and
cortisol.
And it's like I like that pressure. I work well under pressure, but I'm trying to force myself to say no. I need to stop. I need to have time to sit and read a book or watch a shit film. Probably that one. Or do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm actually working on. It's like, what can I do for me?
Order some Shein stuff.
Or cowboy novels.
Order my Shein basket, which is like just sat there staring at me going, please order me. Or like, it sounds silly, having a candlelit bath.
That is my heaven,
chills me out. Sound bath
that
music.
is the worst thing in the world.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, see,
I don't like it in a bath either.
You're weird.
Oh, I love it. Candlelit bath. But it's so good.
Or spa.
And it just totally, and that's what I'm working on, is that being that busy fool, and going, actually, by switching off or having an early night or doing this, I know that then when I come at my work, I'm going to be.
Yeah, that's been me. That's definitely been me this year, because last year mine was so busy, and I remember getting to the end of the year and was like, I'd said to the trustees and Lee, like, you know what, I'm done. I don't
fall over.
If I continue like this in 2025, I will be checking out of the Lewis Foundation. But over the last year, it has been really thinking about I don't need to be busy all the time, because actually I've achieved way more this year.
Yeah, you have.
And I mean, you guys know going me really well. Like last year,
priority for you.
Yeah, so
the spa days.
The spa days are really important. So even for me, the things that I've set up in my life now is first thing in the morning is exercise, no matter what. And some days I'm literally dragging myself there, especially with the dark mornings. But when I get out, I feel good. And then my artwork in the evening, sometimes I'm like so busy in the day, I'll go to Lee, I can't be bothered.
I know.
I love it.
But then you go and it's
and I go, and that's 3 hours of escapism.
Yeah, you're in flow state.
And I'll go in flow state, and I'll just say, I think it's so important that we do need to take time out of ourselves, even though we feel so busy. Actually, you get better results because you're looking after yourself as well.
And we need that time, and you've done that, and
I've done it, and I can feel the difference. So I'm going to the end of this year, and I don't feel like I want to quit. Whereas in January, I was like, I'm done.
So that's
so true. Because I think sometimes, so I took a couple of weeks off this summer, like properly off. I've had holidays before, but I think you did as well, didn't you? Properly taking time off, and that was made all the difference, because I knew that when I come back, I was
rested,
in the rebrand,
yeah.
I was doing a launch, all of these things. So it's like filling up my tank, and then I'm also taking the children away to Ireland, where the old me, and this comes into what I touched on before, is that
Yeah.
nervous system. The old me would feel that I have to be on. I have
All
to be
the
on,
time.
even if I wasn't checking phone with the clients. If I looked on social media, it would be triggering that I am not doing enough. If success will slip out of my hands if I'm not on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
totally.
really, that's almost addicted to that fear, that living in survival state, and a lot of us build our business from that. But what is I'm moving towards now, and this is what I've started to work on, is feeling safe with the space, feeling ease.
Yeah.
Ease is okay. I don't have to over deliver, do to get there. It's like, hang on a minute, there can be space.
Yeah.
And
It
actually,
feels
it's
good.
much
So we
better.
were talking, weren't we, earlier over breakfast? We have a little meet
Little
up
back-
before,
yeah.
and we were talking about social media, right? Most people use social media. All of us here use social
Yeah.
media, right? For our business, for our personal brands, whatever. But we were saying about how it does become sometimes addictive, and we just post because we need to show up, right? And it can get exhausting, especially like when it feels like no one's replying or watching it or
Yeah.
whatever. But then it goes back to like, then what is the point? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive believer.
Yeah.
I've said this before, that, you know, like running a business or a personal brand, like everything's a touch point, your website, your social media. So even if you're not getting like loads of these likes and engagement,
Yeah.
someone will see that post.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they'll find you elsewhere, and then they go on LinkedIn, they'll be like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
like her, I like what she's
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
So I see it more for that, rather than it being like the vanity
An awareness.
metrics.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely.
However, on the flip side as well, it is a bit of like, what is it actually for?
Yeah.
You know, I've gone back to going, you know, I was very much like structured, everything was scheduled out, where
Yeah.
I'm still scheduling some bits,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to be more in it again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Just be a bit
Intentional
more
about it.
spontaneous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's like, and connecting that love, like rather than just doing something for the sake of
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And I
Do
think
you know what I
people
mean?
pick up that energy sometimes when we're
You
just
can
banging
tell.
out
Yeah.
posts as well.
Yeah.
And also, we've touched on as well, like, there's other ways to do business. And it's sometimes being busy, that's part of that busyness. It's
Yeah.
just checking off the list. I have to do this, I have to do that. And it's like, take a minute, that's that busy thought. Am I doing all these posts, showing up on all these stories, all these things, going to the opening of an envelope event because everyone else is doing it, and this is what you should be doing
Yeah,
to
I
be
used to be
successful.
that person.
So that's busy, but we've all been there. I'm
that
saying without
person,
shame,
yeah.
like we've all
Yeah, I've been there.
been there. And then you think, hang on, that to me is being a busy fool,
Hmm.
because that is just following like an ant what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
When really you think for a minute, what other clients can you get, and how can you
And the world
engage with people in
is
different
feeding
ways?
Yeah.
social media.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
It really
I
is.
came up with this topic today because it was me that was saying, like, I've got social media fatigue.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest,
I hear you.
it's really draining, like writing content, and you know, I do that myself. I've tried getting someone else to
Yeah.
do it, and I had a lady doing it for a while, and it just wasn't the same, and it didn't feel authentic
Yeah.
to me. So I do everything I do,
Yeah.
I produce myself, and it's so tiring.
It is
and
tiring.
you feel like you have to post every day for the algorithm to give you half a chance to even reach people, for them to even
Totally.
possibly read it, and it
Yeah.
is very tiring. And I just thought there has got to be a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, am I being a busy fool? I need to
It can
post
feel like
Yeah.
that.
It can
less,
feel like that.
because I think they say consistency is better over frequency. So
Yeah.
just posting maybe 2-3 times a week, like you do, Hayley, and
And
thinking,
just
And it makes a
put more life
difference,
into it.
yeah.
And I'm
More
actually
energy.
like, I'm actually on the platform now, and I'm reading other people's things, and I'm like, oh, that was really interesting, and I'm commenting. Like,
And that's what you're
whereas
going to get the
before, like, if you've got
engagement,
things
yeah.
scheduled, which is great. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't ever schedule anything out, but it's like actually when you're in it, and then I'm actually reading stuff, and I mean, do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
you're connected. You're
It's
connected.
more fun.
Yeah.
more
It's
natural.
It's
It's
more
more, there's a
natural.
different
Whereas,
energy to
think,
it.
if you're posting and I'm thinking, like, if I schedule something for 8 o'clock, okay, I've got to get up by this time because then I've got to do this, so then I can engage a bit. So
Yeah.
then I've got a chance of the algorithm
Picking it up, yeah.
I literally can't.
It's
be
so
bothered.
It's a mission,
stressful.
isn't
But
it?
also, do you know what? Again, it goes that whole like business, and it's like goes back to that. You know, I've seen it so many times. I mean, I help people like with content, but really from a level of like confidence. I know it sounds silly, like because I've worked with people, and it's yes, we can get making carousels and all that, but it's what it does for them.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then they go on to be like really confident in showing up, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's like getting back to that again, connecting to it, do you know what I mean, and feeling that purpose behind
I think
it,
for
rather
me,
than just doing it for the sake of it.
I think that's when you're connected to, I think when we get disconnected to the shoulds, everyone else is doing this, we must do that. This is the only way to skin a cat. No, it's not. Like, I think outside the box and get connected to your vision, like we've just said. It's like, who do I want to work with? But also, how do I want to work? Do I want to be all of my life on social media?
Sorry, like I was having this conversation the other day. Someone was like talking to a company, and they were saying how they'd had someone come in and do like training, like LinkedIn training for their team or whatever. And the person was like, let me guess, they came in and they said to you, like, you need to be posting at this time and you need to do that. Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah, and I bet they did.
But no other, like, actually, if you're a company and your staff wanting to get on there, what should they be posting? Or
just give them some advice.
It was just about, like, post between this time, go and engage 15 minutes before, like, great, right?
It's too much,
What fucking bollocks is that?
And who has time to do
nobody
that?
has time to do that.
It's
hard.
No, let's just go on it and enjoy it and write something and read something. And do you know what I mean? Interact and stuff. But that's it, isn't it? It's become like everything's so like regimented. Like we have to do this.
Because I've really scaled back mine on that basis. So I only use like LinkedIn and Instagram now, so I can really focus on it. Because before I was on Facebook, Twitter, everything else, and it's too much. And then you start to hate it. Whereas now I'm on LinkedIn, I can actually have real engaged conversations to get the connections and like
more
people,
meaningful connections.
and people I want to meet, businesses I want to work with. So I think sometimes we're all over the place thinking we have to be on everything when we actually don't need to.
Because just like scaled it like that.
You scaled yours back,
occasionally, but I don't.
I don't need it. I don't need it all.
I've got like, no, don't get me wrong, I'm not against it. Like you have like a business page, then you have your personal page. Your personal page is always going to get more engagement
than the business.
I mean, the Lewis Foundation might be a bit
it's quite
but generally,
my personal is better.
But then I'm posting on this page, this page.
It's too much.
Why?
It's too much.
Why? Because everyone's like more engaged in my personal page. You sort of think it's funny, like why do we do these things? But someone's told you should do it.
But maybe you can change that now and scale back.
And I'm like, it's that, isn't it? Thinking about
the shoulds.
And how do we carve the time out in busy
life? This is what I was going to say as well, right? There is something about, like, so sorry to use him as an example, but my husband is a perfect example of this. He will get from A to Z and he will just do things again and again and again, right? Whereas I can see, like, if he just did that, which might feel like it takes a bit longer at the start, and it's not that it's haphazard or anything, it's just that he's just
systematic,
Whereas I'll be like, if you just take a bit of time and get that sorted first, and every time you come back to that, you've got that in place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? It's that, right? I sit there and I'm thinking, I'm doing like the same things. Like if I send out a proposal, that's the same thing.
Systemize.
So like if I spend a couple of hours getting that proposal so that everyone is ready, like a service doc or something.
Oh, you know that.
Or setting up a system. That's what I'm saying, right? How much better? Because I know that I'm going to need that and it's done.
That saves you so much
longer
time.
now, and that's what I'm saying. It's that busyness also is sometimes you can take away some of that business by just having a bit more of a structure in it.
I think you do that by taking a day out or half a day, whatever it is, but I think you do need at least half a day, minimum of once a quarter to spend time looking at what the bigger vision of what you had for that year or what for your life as well. Am I being aligned with what, or am I just saying yes to every contract, and is it really what I want? So you can take that, that bird's eye view. And I think anything you do on rinse and repeat, you've got to systemize it.
I need to
like contract, systemize it, because that's busy for. It's just we're doing everything manually and repeat. We've got so many tools now. You don't need to do that.
Like we should do an episode on AI just for our.
So I love that.
I use ChatGPT a lot now. Some people are really against it.
I love it.
I'm not against it.
And I see people now going, I don't use ChatGPT for my posts, and that is great. Because I love writing naturally, conversationally, perfect. However, I still think
it's time
tools are amazing. So, for example, I will write a blog, and I have now trained part of my AI, ChatGPT, that basically whenever I've written it, I put it in, and it will now give me my meta title, my keyword, my meta description, like all of those things.
Yeah, it saves me so much
that it's
time.
all there done. So it's like I'm creating these little bots.
It's an assistant
that I do. It's not ChatGPT writing it.
No. I write the content, but I put it through. I use Claude, and I put it through there, and I just say, write it so it flows better on a reading level 5/6 because that's what people quickly, their brains quickly understand. And it's the same message.
So much
it's the same
time.
And I think that's
it's just somebody, it's just your assistant.
No.
Yeah.
I think people see it as cheating, though, don't they?
I do like, when I used to do like brand strategy days, and or like my sessions, it'd be like 3 hours, right? And I used to then hand write that whole
I used
to do the
now I can get the transcript of the audio.
It's amazing.
I always take notes because I'm a massive note taker anyway. But then I combine it all together and I can say, this is the report. It knows what I want. Yeah. It gives me it, and then I'll just go into each bit and be like, right, no, this, we need to...
Isn't it amazing?
And I'm like, it's still me, but how much
it's like having your PA beside you saying, right, could you do this for me, could you do that for me? I think just enhancing with tools, systemising, but also taking the step back to be intentional. And even in your life, it's like we can just coast from weekend to weekend, like, oh, I thought I wanted to create a more healthier lifestyle. Am I doing that? Am I living that life? But often, and it's not our fault, and I don't think anyone should feel to blame, we are so busy, especially if you're ambitious as well. You're busy, you're leading full lives. Time just flies by that you I think gifting yourself space like
is so important.
That's why when I do my events, the strategy days, people can take a day out to work on their business and reflect at the end of the year. That's so powerful.
Because James will often be like, why are you going to this event, or why are you going here? Not in a bad way, but like, why, like, do you need that? And I'll be like, it's because it gives me space.
Which you wouldn't have.
It gives me that space to just think.
That's the number one reason people say that they love working with me, actually. It's because
they got
intentional space.
100%.
And that's
headspace.
Means everything.
Headspace,
and we never have it.
Never have it. And time focus on you. Time focus on you and your business. Whereas we're always giving to our clients or giving to our family or whatever. So taking that time out is what will get you closer to your vision and help you to stop wasting time. But I think using tools, project management tool I use personally, it's not for everyone. Or if you write by hand, notebooks, but keeping on track of what am I setting my intention for this week? Where do I want to be at the end of the week? Because otherwise it's like, I've done loads this week, but am I closer to where I want it to be? So I'm really, because I'm working school hours now for the girls, I'm like laser focused now. So when I'm working, it's like, these are what I need to get done. That's what
in that time period.
And I try to get nearly all of it done. Not sometimes things run over.
That's
what it keeps buzzing on my watch.
That's why I've had to take my watch off now.
Or if it's on your computer, WhatsApp.
I'm trying to like not have my
distraction.
phone
me too.
In the evening and stuff, because I'm like just
I'll get addicted. Apart from your sheet.
Add something else to my basket.
Relate.
I think the accountability we have really helps though, because sometimes you get so bogged down, and then like, so one of it will pull each other up and say, actually, you're doing too much, or have you thought about this? So I think having people in your lives that actually you can have those conversations with, and keep an eye on what you're up to is really important.
Definitely.
I think just like if anyone listening thinks, maybe this applies to me, where I'm keep doing things and I'm not getting where I want to get to, or I'm putting it off, is actually to, rather than just push it to the side thinking I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's easier, which it is easier, even though it doesn't help us, is to actually do something different and just take yourself out, maybe a different environment, go for a walk, take a day out, take an hour off, whatever, half an hour, whatever you can do, and just get a little bit more intentional and review what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, what can I do differently. It's
so important, because what I find is if you don't do that, I think you just have to ask yourself this question: am I comfortable with where I am now, being in the same place in 6 months or a year? Am I okay with it? And if you are, that's fine.
That's fine.
But if you keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results.
And I think also listening to yourself more and thinking, if I feel a bit low or a bit heavy or a bit tired or a bit, why am I feeling like this? Something's not working, something is not working for you, so really thinking about what that could be and how you could do it differently.
I agree.
So
great
episode.
Lovely.
Remember to like, share, watch us on YouTube.
Watch us.
So if you want to see our smiley faces, go to YouTube and you'll find us on there, Real Talk. And it's been a pleasure.
As always.
Any questions you have, anything you want to know about, get in touch.
We'd love to hear from you.
Get in touch with any of us on any platform, and we'd love to hear from you. So thanks everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.